Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, back at today with another fantasy football video. In today's video, we got Week 10 tight end start or sit decisions. I go through every single matchup from Thursday night all the way to Monday night and tell you whether you should start or sit the tight end in this matchup. Now, before I get right into this tight end start or sit video, I'd like to give you guys a word from my sponsor, Overlay DFS.com. OverlayDFS.com is my favorite website to play daily fantasy on, and it is very, very, very simple. Even I can get and play well on this website. Now, it is very, very simple. Like I said, it's a start-sit format. All you got to do is make 12 picks plus 3 alternate picks, and it is super simple. Pretty much right here, you can see one of the examples here would be Lamar Jackson versus Aaron Rodgers. Personally, Lamar Jackson against the Cincinnati Bengals, I think that is a very easy matchup. So to me, I think he will outscore Aaron Rodgers against the Carolina Panthers. It is that easy. All you got to do is do that 11 more times plus the 3 alternate picks, and you can go and try to win that money. Now, if you go that perfect 12-0 in the $109 game, you could win $28,000. I know that's like a lot of money, but even in the $2 game, you could win roughly $3,500 if you have that beautiful 12-0. Now, if you're in the top 10% of the entries in that contest, you win 9 times your buy-in, which is huge. But before I end this roll, I'd like to actually tell you guys a new strategy that I have discovered that I personally have used the last couple of weeks and have found some success in. So, say I like Jameis Winston a lot this week to beat Drew Brees. So, I'd pick Jameis Winston against the Arizona Cardinals, and then I'm going to stack him with his wide receiver, Mr. Mike Evans, to beat Tyreek Hill. Because if I personally believe that Jameis Winston is going to have a good game, I also believe Mike Evans will, and then you get 2 correct pretty much for the price of 1. At least to me, that makes a lot of sense, and is something that I like to implore every week on OverlayDFS.com. So, make sure to check them out. Link down below in the description, OverlayDFS.com. And we are back. Make sure to check out OverlayDFS.com. Link down below in the description. Let's get right into this Week 10 tight end start or sit decisions. Now, we start off with Thursday night. Chargers at the Oakland Raiders. Now, I love both tight ends in these games. I see both of these guys being potential top 5 tight ends. If I had to rank them, obviously they're not going to be in the rankings video because they play on Thursday. So if I have to rank them, I'm going to go with Hunter Henry, probably slightly outweighing Darren Waller. Now, Phillip Rivers is just feeding Hunter Henry like it's his goddamn job. He throws the ball to Hunter Henry every single fucking time. It seems like Keenan Allen has been irrelevant thus far in the last couple of games. So I really love Hunter Henry this week against the Raiders. Now, Darren Waller has been outstanding this season. A lot of fantasy analysts, including myself, told you guys, take Darren Waller at the end of the draft. I like him a decent amount. And you know what has happened? Darren Waller went from a no one to a someone real fast. He's pretty much out playing on 100% of the snaps on the offense. He's always out there, and Derek Carr has a love affair for Mr. Darren Waller. Darren Waller is like Jared Cook from last year, except for where he actually doesn't shit the bed every couple of games. Darren Waller is very, very consistent, and this week against the Chargers, I really like Darren Waller against a banged up Chargers defense. Next game here is the battle of New York teams, but it's actually the battle of the New Jersey teams because they play in New Jersey. The New York Football Giants at the New York Football Jets. Now, there's something to talk about here. I want to start Chris Herndon in this matchup. I really like this matchup against the New York Football Jets, but he may not play, all right? It doesn't say anything about Ryan Griffin on the screen, but I actually have something to tell you. If you want to get a bit sneaky, you want to get a bit cocky, you want to get a bit of a big dick maneuver, you put Ryan Griffin in there because Sam Darnold loves the tight end, regardless who it is. You've seen Ryan Griffin catch touchdowns the past couple of games while Chris Herndon was out. Actually, the whole season while Chris Herndon was out. So I think this week against the New York Football Giants, who allow the tight end to score pretty easily, whose defense is not that amazing, I think Chris Herndon or Ryan Griffin have a big game. Now, if Chris Herndon plays, you don't play Ryan Griffin. And if Ryan Griffin is the one starting for the team, you can go ahead and slot in Ryan Griffin. I would be sitting Rhett Ellison. Obviously, Daniel Jones actually does like targeting the tight end. Rhett Ellison has been playing pretty well when Evan Ingram is hurt. Evan Ingram is hurt now. I'm not sure when he's coming back. He's definitely not playing this week, so you got to sit him on the bench and sit Mr. Rhett Ellison on the bench as well. Next game here, we got the Atlanta Falcons at the New Orleans Saints, and I envision a huge game here from Austin Hooper. Now, he's been dealing with dealt with Matt Schaub before the bye because Mr. Matty Ice was hurt. In this game against the Saints, I think Austin Hooper comes back, and he comes back big. Now, the New Orleans defense is pretty good overall, but I think Austin Hooper is going to get in there and shove his fist straight up the Saints defense ass and have a humongous game this week against the Saints. Not humongous, I would say probably a top 8-ish tight end on the week. Now, I'm going to be sitting down Mr. Jared Cook in this game. Now, Jared Cook's, he's hurt, and then he's good, and then he's hurt, and then he's good. He's hurt, he's good. It's like a fucking cycle of being pissed off because you drafted Jared Cook. He hasn't done shit all season. Even in this matchup against the Falcons defense can't stop anyone. But you want to know who they'll probably end up stopping? Jared Cook, because he's just been performing so terribly this season, and I would not have any confidence in starting Jared Cook this week in fantasy football. Next game here, we got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Tennessee Titans. Now, I'm going to be starting up Travis Kelce in this game. Obviously, you drafted Travis Kelce highly. You traded for him. You love Travis Kelce, and he has not been that tight end this year that you and I thought he would be. But this game against the Tennessee Titans, you obviously have to start him. No matter how good the Titans defense has been against the pass, no matter how good the Titans defense is overall, you have to start Travis Kelce. Patrick Mahomes, in my opinion, is not going to play in this game, but he may get that look. The Andy Reid is a crazy motherfucker. The Kool-Aid man may throw Travis Kelce in this game, and if he may throw Pat Mahomes in this game. Now, Travis Kelce is good whether or not it's Matt Moore or Pat Mahomes. He's been underperforming this whole season. I think this game might be the start of something great and a bounce back. Now, I'm going to start Jonnu Smith, but he's got the next to his name because we saw a few weeks ago Jonnu Smith, when Delaney Walker got hurt, he played big and went out there and skull-fucked the defense. The last couple of weeks, we've seen Jonnu Smith get skull-fucked and not perform in fantasy football. This week, the Chiefs' defense is soft. The Chiefs' defense is not very good. So realistically, Jonnu Smith can perform, but I am a bit nervous starting anyone on the Tennessee Titans that's name is not Derrick Henry. I'm going to be sitting down Delaney Walker. Obviously, he's hurt. He's possibly dead. We don't really know. Let's hope he's okay, but right now he's hurt, so you sit him on your bench. Next game here, we got the Ravens at the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I know. Nick, you fucking idiot. You told me to start Mark Andrews last week, and he played terrible against the Patriots. You fucking idiot. The other tight end scored. But you know what I say to that? I accept the blame. I was a fucking idiot. I sipped the Kool-Aid on Mark Andrews because I like Mark Andrews. I loved him in the draft. I love him now. But the thing is, the other tight end on the team scored, okay? All right, that's something that happens. But this week, against the Cincinnati Bengals, a defense that is a sorry-ass defense. They can't stop anyone. They can't stop me. They can't stop you. And I'm going to be having a good time. I'm going to be having a ball when I start Mark Andrews this week. The Cincinnati Bengals defense is atrocious. I love Mark Andrews this week against the Bengals for a bounce-back game. Last week, had he have been the tight end to score that touchdown, he would have had a much better game, and you would not be so mad at Mr. Mark Andrews. Now, I'm going to be sitting down Tyler Eifert in this game, and TJ Hushkabaza, or whatever that fucker's name is, who's also on the team, because you want to know what he does. All he does is hurt Tyler Eifert, and you know what Tyler Eifert does? He hurts him. So until they commit to one tight end, until it goes back to Tyler Eifert from a couple of years ago, he is not the same guy because they don't call the same plays, they don't play the same way, and they don't have Andy Dalton. Now, what I do know is that younger quarterbacks tend to rely on their tight end. So if I was trying to go risky, I was trying to risk it for the biscuit and go for the most glory play ever, I would play Tyler Eifert this week. But I'm not going to do it in most leagues. Unless you're in like a 16-team league, you let Tyler Eifert ride the pine or probably ride the waiver wire because you probably don't even own Tyler Eifert. Next game here is the Bills at the Browns. Now, before I get into this game, I'd like to ask you guys to please go down below and click that subscribe button. Let's get right back into this. Bills at Browns. So I'm going to be sitting down Dawson Knox one time if you're with me. Now, Mr. Tyler Kroft is there. It hurts Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox scored last week, but obviously you can't rely on that every single week. I'm not throwing Dawson Knox in as my starting tight end. I'm also sitting Mr. RSJ, Ricky Seals-Jones, formerly of the Cardinals. I don't love any of these tight ends on the Browns. I don't love any of these players on the Browns. I think the Browns, except for Nick Chubb, are going to get their ass clapped in this game by Mr. Josh Allen. Next game here is the Cardinals at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I'm sitting every single tight end in this game. The Cardinals, they've got a carousel of tight ends, and you just don't know which one to start, so you just sit them all. It's that simple. And O.J. Howard may play in this game, and he's going to ride the pine in this game because Jameis Winston has not been targeting him. O.J. Howard has been the biggest disappointment in fantasy football, at least to me this season. It seems like he was a tight end that everyone loved. Everyone projected him to be great. I personally thought he would be great, and Jameis Winston was eating too many W's and throwing the ball to Mike Evans and Chris Godwin to give two fucks about O.J. Howard, so you're going to let him sit down. Cameron Brate, sit him down as well. Next game here, we got the Lions at the Chicago Bears. I'm going to be starting TJ Hawkingod in this game. Now, TJ Hawkinson has really been a disappointment the last couple of weeks. I know this matchup against the Bears isn't amazing. The Bears are pretty good against the tight end. They're a pretty good defense. But, TJ Hawkinson is one of the best tight ends in fantasy football and one of the best tight ends in real life. If he finds that end zone, he'll be worthy of a start. Now, you're pretty much rolling the dice with him because if he finds that end zone and he puts up a big game, you will be very happy. If not, you're going to be sad. But the tight end position is a pit of sadness aside from the top like 5, 6, 7 guys. So TJ Hawkinson, you just throw him out there and he is a start against the Bears. Now, we sent down Trey Burton. Trey Burton hasn't done shit all season. Last year, he was touted as a great tight end fantasy. Didn't do shit. This year, didn't do shit as well. Next game here, we got the Dolphins at the Indianapolis Colts. I'm starting all the tight ends in this game. We're taking all the tight ends and throwing them up against the wall and hoping that they all work because I love Eric Ebron in this game. Eric Ebron up against the sorry-ass Dolphins. I think he is going to go balls deep in this terrible Dolphins defense. Jack Doyle, same thing. Obviously, I trust Eric Ebron more than Jack Doyle, but Jack Doyle could also score a touchdown in this game. If Jacoby B plays, Jacoby Brissett, I feel a lot more confident in these guys. If they have Brian Hoyer, I'm still pretty confident. So I love Eric Ebron in this game. Jack Doyle as well. Mike Gesicki, Licky on my Gesicki for the Miami Dolphins has shown that with Mr. Ryan Fitzmagic, he can be dangerous like Baker fucking Mayfield last year. Mike Gesicki is in for a humongous game this week. You're not going to see it coming. No one is going to see it coming. You slot him in your lineup. He is a top 12 tight end on the week against the Colts. Ryan Fitzmagic loves throwing the ball to him. He performed heavy last week, performed well last week, and I think this week against the Colts, he performs great again. Next game here, we got the Panthers at the Green Bay Packers. Now, I'm going to be starting up third leg Greg in this game. Now, Greg Olsen has just been about okay this season. Started off terrible, got hurt. Then once they said, get the fuck out of here, Cam, you IR ass motherfucker, you don't know how to type. If you guys follow him on Instagram, he types in this weird fucking font, and that's the reference there. But third leg Greg is going to drop his drawers and let the Packers see his third leg this game. I love Greg Olsen this week. But like I said, Greg Olsen is one of these guys that's not the top 8 guy that you love. He's just back there, and you just play him, and you just hope that he plays well. And we're sitting down Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham has been a disappointment the last couple of weeks. I loved him in these games, and he hasn't done shit, so I'm going to sit him this week against the Carolina Panthers. Next game here is the Rams at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I'm going to be starting up Mr. Gerald Everett in this game. They had a bye last week, and the game before that, he disappointed. But the game before that, he played amazing. So he's much more of a dice roll. But against the Steelers, who are bad against the tight end, I like Gerald Everett this week. On the other side of the ball, I like Vance McDonald in this game. Now, I know the Rams defense is good. They have Jalen Ramsey, but Jalen Ramsey ain't going to cover big boy Vance McDonald. Now, Vance McDonald has just been okay the last couple of games. He's been dealing with an injury, comes back, plays okay. This game against the Rams, I think he plays just good enough to warrant a start. Now, I'm sitting down Mr. Tyler Higbee. Why is that? Because Gerald Everett's stock has been rising. His usage in the team has been rising. His receptions have been rising. His red zone targets have been rising. And at the same time, Tyler Higbee's have hit the floor. Shorty got low. Tyler Higbee is not playing well, so you just sit him down, let him ride the pine, let him ride that waiver wire. Next game, here's the Vikings at the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I'm sitting down both tight ends in this matchup. Kyle Rudolph, while did perform last week, hasn't done shit all season. This week against the Cowboys, I predict doesn't do shit again. Jason Witten is just an okay tight end. He's a guy that you roll out there and you're just like, that's the tight end 14 on the week. You just throw him out there and, you know, you're not going to get much. If he scores a touchdown, you're happy. If not, you're disappointed. But this week against the Vikings that are pretty good against the tight end, I would let Jason Witten ride the pine. On to the final game here, the Monday Night Football matchup between the Seattle Seahawks and the 49ers. Now I'm going to be starting George Kittle. George Kittle is in every single week locked and loaded start. He may be the number one tight end on this week. I love this matchup against Seattle. I think that this is going to be a game to watch, the game to watch, because it's the only game to watch on Monday. Now I like George Kittle in this matchup, so you're obviously going to be starting him. You probably weren't going to bench him anyways unless he was up against a super tough defense, and the Seattle defense is not that tough. And you're going to be sitting down all these Seattle Seahawks tight ends. There's Luke Wilson and a bunch of other guys. You just sit all of them down against this tough 49ers defense. So thank you guys all for watching this video. If at any point you have been enjoying, please click that subscribe button down below. Make sure to check out overlaydfs.com, link down below in the description. Thank you guys all for 2.9 thousand subscribers. I know that is not that big in comparison to other fantasy channels on the YouTube system, but you know, it still does mean a lot to me. 2.9 thousand. We're going to hit 3,000 soon, and then we're going to hit the moon. I love each and every single one of you guys, whether you subscribe or not, whether you enjoyed the video or not. It means a lot that you ended up watching it thus far to hear me talk about this. So thank you guys very much. I love each and every one of you. Have a great rest of your day. Goodbye, my friends.